Hi there, everybody. Welcome to my Zen place I like to call home. This is Amber Johnson. That's me. And I have to tell you guys, first of all, that I had the most amazing day. If any of you guys out there that have been following my story, and we got Christmas music. Sorry, music always soothes me. Merry Christmas, guys. 2 more days, and then it's the celebration of the Lord Jesus Christ. First of all, let's see, where can I begin? When I was a little girl, I used to pretend that I was blind, and I would turn off all the lights in the house, and I would close my eyes, and I would just be like this. And I would start walking around my house, counting steps and feeling everything. Don't ask me why, I just thought it would be cool to know what it was like to be blind. But in actuality, I found out that all it did was teach me how to sense and feel things by energy, by touch, by sound. And because of that, I switched to doing hypnosis with my friends in the closet. We then turned off the lights. We had heard about hypnosis and all the childhood little things like, Bloody Mary and all that stuff. So we thought we would be able to hypnotize each other. The reason why we did that was because we suffered from a lot of abuse, and in order for us to be open with others, we chose to be open with each other and just pretend that we were falling asleep in a trance. And then we would speak our truth of what happened to us as our abuse. And that in itself spurred on even more cool stuff in my life in childhood. Now, one thing I know for a fact now is that all the years that I have been alive, all the photos that I have seen that my dad keeps giving me shows a huge smile on my face. And thanks to my father and my grandmother and my aunt, which I found out has Cherokee bloodline, that they taught me in the most unusual ways how to use my mind, body, and soul, spirit, as I like to call it. And they taught me, but never told me about my gifts. So all this time, all these years, I've just been following my instincts and coming up with some crazy stuff. And it's because I was open to it. Because I have nothing but love, I guess. Because it all boils down to self-love and love of animals, love of humans, love of the planet. And it was always about making people laugh. Laughter has been the key to my survival through everything. I was not only a victim of sexual abuse, physical abuse, emotional, mental abuse, and every other type of abuse you can think of from childhood on. I have learned to master my emotions. At least I'm still working on it. It's called 12 years of therapy, and I'm still an empathic who gets excited like a child. My father had puzzles running all the time, like on the table. Like anyone could come and just sit and do one piece or do 2 hours worth of it, no matter what. And God forbid I asked my grandma where Montana was. She turned around and pointed to her bookshelf, and I turned around and there's thesauruses and encyclopedias and dictionaries, and she said, "Don't come back until you have a book report on it." And ready to talk. So as a child, I put my head in books. I learned geography, I learned science and every state, and man, I'll tell you, my grandma had every single set, man. Thank you, Grandma. She passed away. She was my rock through all of it. You know, I used to ask her, why did you let Dad beat me up and spank me all the time and not do anything? And she looked right at me and said, Amber, do you think I could have controlled your dad? And I said, well, that makes sense. She goes, I could only watch and wait until it was over and then console you. She was like my blanket, my pillow, my cloud. And I'd sit for hours just massaging her feet and her hands and talking to her and watching Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune while she screams out all the answers. And I grew up watching Days of Our Lives, and my favorite movie was Dirty Dancing, man. Talk about loving life and wanting to find my soulmate, the one person that was meant to be in my life. The point to all this is what led up to now, and discovering that not only have I been gifted with prophecy, with Reiki, with shamanism, paganism. I got asked if I was a pagan the other day. And instead, I met some other twin flames, as what people have labeled it. Just remember, a lot of these things are labels. Because in the end of it, you know, tarot cards are tools, divination, to speak with the God source. Now, I've been told recently, thank you, Ricky Gelb, for connecting with me finally and wanting to be a part of this weekly group at Reed Park, going on Sundays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. So far, that's what we have set up. But he reminded me that I have to basically step into my power and stop acting like as if I'm trying so hard to impress you guys. And I'll tell you, by hearing that again, it was just confirmation of what I've been working on, which is my final lesson in this life, which is how to calm my emotions, my thoughts, the way I word things. And he's agreed to coming out and teaching us exactly what he's doing, what he's been doing, and enlightening all of us with just starting with a simple mantra. I'm so excited and honored to finally get to meet Ricky Gelb. He's putting together a Tucson consciousness thing, and he's asked if we could be part of a sister group. Now, the reason why I get excited, obviously, is because I'm an empath and a healer, but I've never been able to control it and stop my mind, because it's like a little movie theater. Thing is, someone talks to me and I think of a memory of the past. But then when someone needs help, I'm like 10 years in the future of seeing how I can help the whole of humanity. And so I throw out these ideas and things that I'm knowledgeable in. Why? Because I've had my head in books. I have been learning my whole life on every single topic of every illness that I came across. My brother's schizophrenic. He said my mom was probably schizophrenic. I didn't know what it was or how to deal with my brother. Even to this day, he's 41 years old and he's sitting in prison because he doesn't want to get better, but he doesn't know how unless he draws. He has premonitions, his dreams. He predicts things. Me, I just sense things happening. Such as one incident, I went up to Mount Lemmon in 2003, and I don't know what made me go up there, but I went up and took my daughter Marissa, and we used to go up and get fudge, and then just look at all the beautiful houses and walk around and then come back down. It was like a day trip. And a week later, it burned down. I watched it from the rooftop, and I have photos still of that one. And then another incident that I remember very clearly was my dad's birthday was coming up, and I know he likes John Wayne, so I went out to Old Tucson. And I bought him a little John Wayne thing, and seriously, I bought it. I got home a week later, that place burned down. My grandmother was sick. I told her something was off. A week later, she died. Same thing with my mother. May they all rest in peace. My aunt, at least I got to say goodbye to her. She died of ovarian cancer like February of this year or last year maybe. I'm not sure. It's been a little while. So all I was doing was sitting inside of the YWCA doing my volunteer work, and I happened to be sitting next to this beautiful lady who you met today on the videos, Christine. And I mentioned something about how I looked up alpha waves. Just because I like to listen to music, I started the subliminal messaging with Eldon Taylor with Illusions. That book is amazing. If you guys are interested, look up Illusions, the book. In the very back, you'll find him and his work that he does with affirmations and subliminal messaging. They have a free one called Forgiving and Letting Go. So we're sitting here talking, and next thing you know it, I find out about Kundalini awakening and ascension, and then twin flames and soulmates. And it's like I'm missing one man and all this time, the one that I love dearly, and I couldn't understand why I just couldn't let him go and why I had this connection. And that is what got me on this journey. And I mentioned it to her. And it turned out she'd been on this journey for 10 years, and she cut this masculine guy off. Never even heard of it before. So we're sitting here, and then she told me, she got home, she was so pissed that she had to wake up to the whole twin flame journey again. And so over time, we started talking, we started creating. Then she tells me she does aromatherapy, and she's got schooling behind her for Reiki and hypnosis and all these things, beautiful things. And then our lives just collided. Not only did I uplift her, and she got back on YouTube after 5 years, but she also uplifted me in my awakening. And now I am creating with her a new channel and a group. I just didn't know what I was doing. I've been flowing with this and building this whole thing with helping the good people, because it's exactly what it says, helping others. I literally started it for 40 years of domestic violence and fighting back against this town. And I'm telling you, my kids are still not safe, but I've given it to God, guys. I have fought in every way legally possible. And I'll tell you right now, I'm not giving up this fight, and I am done fighting this town. With the law, I put my sword down. I'm going this way. I'm going to go hug that big old tree that needs loving. Like it says, when the plants are dying, you just say loving thoughts and give it attention and good vibes. And I'm telling you, it's there. We are there. Today was the biggest awakening of my life. I found my calling. I heed the calling. And now I'm calling out to all of you to join in this community with love and light and creation and using our gifts to uplift, encourage, heal, dance, sing, write, create, beating, I don't care. Let's do some yoga, meditation, come together as a community. Right in the center of Reed Park, Duck Pond. I'm working on all the other little issues, but I'm taking this one step at a time. God has called me for this and prepared me for this my whole life. And now I've met my soul tribe, my soul family. And we're doing this together with nothing but universal love. So join me on my next video with the whole group. Sundays, Reed Park at 22nd and Country Club at the Duck Pond. 10 to 2 p.m. That's a start. We have no idea what we're doing, but we are emerging as a new solid foundation. Thank you.